Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley.
And I am Coach Jay.
Back with the film breakdown series. It has been a minute. You guys are going to have to bear with us. We got to get our feet wet. We got to get our chemistry back, but we are going to be talking about all comers, whether they're JUCO prospects, whether they're, I don't know, from Oregon State. We're going to talk about guys in the class of 25. We're going to try to do these every single week, probably drop them on Sunday. If it's your first time watching the film breakdown series, if you don't know who this guy is over here, Coach Jay coaches football out on the West Coast. What we do is we like to go through some film, pick out a few plays for guys that are committed to Tennessee or that Tennessee's targeting, and let him kind of break it down. And he tries to, I don't know, blur the line between a fan and a coach, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of you guys like it, so we're going to jump right into it. But you guys know the deal. Smash the thumbs up, all that good stuff. If you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome to the channel. Make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications. We have all types of fun around here, whether it's film breakdown, post-game shows, tailgate shows. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. If you like it, subscribe, and let's talk about it. Coach, we're going to talk about Jermod McCoy today, transfer from Oregon State, 6 foot, 180 pounds. He's got 3 years of eligibility left. But let's start by talking about the secondary. You know, we talked, could this defense take a step? I felt like they took a step from year 1 to year 2. Could they do that from year 2 to year 3? The big pushback I got was Boogie. These guys in the secondary, they're all the same. They're not going to change. They're not going to upgrade. They're not going to develop. And that's kind of where we were in 2023. Tennessee, one of the worst passing defenses in the country, 79th overall, 10th in the SEC, and now we're seeing an overhaul. Warren Burrell, portal. Danico Slaughter, Tamarian McDonald, transfer portal. Jack Luttrell, Brandon Turnage, Deshaun Rucker, Wesley Walker, 7 players in the secondary out the door. What are your thoughts on this secondary, a youth movement, and then adding guys like Jermod McCoy?
Yeah, obviously, Heupel highlighted, right-click, deleted on the old secondary there, right? And he's ready to restart that unit completely. And I think it's for most Vol fans who have a good head on their shoulders, they realize it's something that was absolutely needed. We feel like they like the youth on this team, and we are very excited about that. They just need to sprinkle in some talent. But hey, look, I love that we're going out there and getting some young DBs, right? We're not going out there and just getting a guy that's got 1 year left, right? That's always in that contract year. We're going out there finding that young talent that shined through at a program outside the SEC. And then they got the call up to the big leagues, right, Boogie? And all of a sudden, guess what? It's prime time. It's time to go see what you can do in front of Neyland Stadium. Go shine in the SEC and try to get that contract and build something special here on Rocky Top.
Jermod McCoy's a big one. I think ultimately he could end up being the starter at corner opposite of Ricky Gibson. That's the way I see it right now. Of course, we got to see what happens in the spring. There's going to be more turnover in the spring. You still got some opportunities, some guys in the portal that Tennessee is working to get on campus when we get to January. So we'll see how that plays out. Coming out of high school, McCoy actually played wide receiver. He was a 3-star wide receiver prospect, made the switch over to defensive back, listed as a 4-star in the portal. You can see there a top 10 corner in the portal for this cycle. Here's a scout from on3.com. Actually, let's let you go first. We're going to dive into the film. When you've watched the film, when you got everything ready for this video, what do you see? Give us a brief little scout of what you see from Jermod McCoy.
Yeah, as a kid who likes to play in phase with wide receivers, likes to play in tight. He's comfortable playing on and off outside leverage. He can attack the slants very quickly. He's got a absolute nose for the football. He can make up ground quick. He's an intelligent player, and he seems to be all over the field at all times. Can defend the long ball, intermediate ball, and underneath ball just the same. Someone who I feel like can truly develop into that lockdown corner that you can stick on an island.
Like to put you on blast first, make you go first so you can't cheat. You've mentioned a nose for the ball. That's something the scout from On3 says is, you kind of see some of those ball skills because he made that switch from wide receiver to defensive back. It goes on to say one of the things that catches the eye is his ability to recover when there's a misstep or separation is created. He works his way back into the phase very well. Then his length allows him to be disruptive on the catch point and make plays on the football. Length is something that this coaching staff has chased and targeted, whether it be the portal, whether it be the high school kids. It's something they focus on. And, man, Marcus Gorey Jr., that's a kid that has the length, but it's really everybody at that corner position. Goes on to say as a tackler, he is effective in space, flies to the football, leverages well from his cornerback spot, appears to play more aggressively when working the boundary corner, but his ability to walk up and press as the field corner certainly flashes as well. It is easy to see there's a real upside in his overall game. We're going to jump into the film here in just a second. One last thing I want to ask you about his game, or about who Tennessee should target as we move forward. Do you think Tim Banks' defense is going to be more effective? We're going to see what it really is. If you get these corners that you can leave out there on an island, let them play press man, be physical. Be physical. I think that's a key for his defense and what he wants to do.
Yeah, big time. You touched on it, and hey, it's in the notes, and we're going to talk about it. For too long, wide receivers have been able to run unchecked in the first 5 yards off of their breaks. This is something Jermod McCoy does very well, in addition to all the things that you just mentioned. I do think it is. I do think we need to jam at the line much better. We need to buy that extra time. How many times last year did we have that moment where it's like we almost got to the quarterback, right? The pressure was coming. If we just had a half tick longer, we would have been there in time. Too long, and that little bit of time of checking people at the line makes all the difference when it comes to being able to get to the quarterback.
We're going to jump right into it. Take a look at the film. This is a little different. You guys have kind of asked for this, so we changed gears. Coach Jay said, Boogie, let's do it. Let's go out on a limb. Let's show some real college film. Now, you talk about for the fans, by the fans. This is for you. We'll talk business. Look, no money is going to be made on this video because you guys asked for this type of content, and we think it is worth it. You want to put a tip in the tip jar, hit that thanks button down below. It's like a super chat on a video. We would appreciate it, but we felt it was more important to show his true film from college than it was to go back to high school, show something that's old. So that's what we're going to do in this video. Coach, take it away.
Right here we got trips to the top of the screen. Jermod McCoy's at the bottom of the screen covering the X wide receiver, and as we see up close in press, right, not giving up a lot of space. A little bit of a mixed coverage with the players playing off on the trip side, but we're trusting Jermod right here, right? He's out on an island all by himself, and he could be a little bit in trouble. The safety, as you notice, is creeped up next to the linebackers in this nickel look, so he is truly on an island here. Boogie, go ahead and run maybe just 1-2 seconds off real quick, and let's talk about this first step right there. Okay, good. Okay, see, perfect. So as we see, this wide receiver has stemmed Mr. McCoy to the inside a little bit here and got position on him. But what McCoy's done with his outside leverage is he's turned his hips open. He can see right through his defender to the ball. So really good eye discipline, making sure we're keeping the whole play in effect. He's going to undercut this when we go. He's going to completely undercut this post. Just a great job of matching this wide receiver downhill, because the problem with, if you don't play outside leverage here, is getting burnt deep, right, on that deep seam ball to this wide receiver. Boogie, why don't you go ahead and just play it and just watch how seamlessly he undercuts this route. We had a problem with backs not, getting their eye on that ball. I mean, in a blink of an eye, and I think they play it even once from another angle after this, Boogie, like right after the play. He just goes from outside leverage to inside leverage immediately on that play. Just absolutely beautiful. The wide receiver actually quits on that play because he gets beat that bad by Jermod McCoy. Just a beautiful job of undercutting an inside post route and still maintaining outside leverage. Man, just beautifully done by Mr. McCoy right here. We've got just a basic deuces to the bottom of the screen, single wing set. Jermod is going to be at the top of your screen playing off this time, right? So that's always a little bit of trouble. They got 10 yards to go for the sticks, so you need to watch out, in front of you, behind you, be ready to come up for support for run. Boogie, go ahead and let just a couple seconds here run off, and what you're going to see is, of course, this X wide receiver run a flat route right here. But if you could maybe pause it around that 57-second mark, something like that, Boogie. Right about there. All right, look at the quarterback. This ball is out of that quarterback's hand, right? Something we might have wished we saw a little bit more with Joe Milton. Ball's out of the hand, right? He's throwing to a spot.
Timothy,
not an option route.
Timothy, are you watching?
This quarterback is throwing to a spot, not an option route. Now, right here, this is beautiful by Jermod. What you notice he's doing here is shifting his weight. He is not stopping, he's changing directions. And when you heard it in the scouting report, him being able to make up ground quickly, this is why, because of good technique and form. A lot of DBs, cornerbacks want to stop and then change directions, right? He's just going to use all of his momentum to switch directions, right? And then when he makes this play, watch what he does with his hands here. Beautiful. He's bringing his hands up for the tackle, but catches the ball in his foresight and is able to make a PBU here. Let's go ahead and check it out, Boogie. And great recovery speed. Watch his hands come up. He wasn't even looking at the ball right there because he was just going to make a stick on the kid. Just pat, 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 change direction. Look how quick he changed direction, and a little bit of attitude when he's popping over him, right? Which I will always take right there. Boogie, if you could play just a little, it will show it from another angle right after it. I want to, watch it from the other angle, going up for that tackle. And watch him just kind of look down at him. He got a little bit of attitude, right? He got a little bit of nasty to him too, which I like in a freshman. Really strong stuff here out of Jermod McCoy early. I'm excited about this kid. I'll tell you what, Vol Nation. Beautiful, beautiful job there. Just a nose for the football. I mean, that wide receiver's hands were down and he still batted it out. Moving right along to the next play here. We got twins to the top of the screen, one high safety look. Jermod is going to be on that Z wide receiver at the top of the screen. And, he's going to be running right like a go route, a seam route to the end zone here. And we've gotten burned a lot on this, right? Tim Banks has not wanted to. Willie Martinez has not wanted to play this press coverage that you're seeing. He doesn't want to put his cornerbacks in phase because when we've been doing that, we've been getting burnt deep, right? That's been the whole problem is we haven't been able to trust our wide receivers in man coverage. By the way, this Stanford wide receiver that he's against right now is the same Stanford wide receiver that absolutely cooked Hunter for Colorado. So all you Buff fans out there watching, this dude right here is the dude that absolutely flambéed your so-called do-it-everything player over at Colorado. Boogie, let's go ahead and watch maybe the first couple seconds of this play transpire, and we can talk about. All right, he's right at the top. Now watch, he kind of slow hopped with him. That wide receiver was kind of baiting him to go slow and then change gears on him so he can burn by him, right? Kind of like a poor man stop and go. But just perfect hips. And also you'll notice as he does that slow and goes in a fast, Jermod puts his hands on him just for a second, right? Just to throw him in the direction, push him a little bit further to the sideline and create a little bit of time. And as you see right now, he's flipping his hips right around and he's just a hair in front of the wide receiver. So he's going to be able to run tit for tat with him. And as we, continue along this play, let's just watch him swivel these hips, run with him, and get this pass breakup. It's a beautiful, beautiful job by Jermod. Go ahead and press play. Running with him, head on, swivels his head. Hey, look at that, Vol Nation. What do you know? A cornerback who knows how to turn his head around and find the football, guys. What have we been asking for all this time? Is a cornerback who can turn his head around and find the football, something that's been missing from our ace cornerbacks in the past few years. Opens hip, pop, pop, pop. Beautiful. Turns and finds the ball. That's absolutely textbook out of Mr. Jermod McCoy.
One of the things that I like, statistics-wise, numbers-wise, the guys that Tennessee is looking to add, the guys they were targeting in the portal, not just the two that they got, are guys that make plays, right? Not guys that are just out there. Pass breakups. That's one of the big things that you're seeing. You look at McCoy's numbers: 31 tackles, 2 picks, a fumble recovery, 7 passes defended. Not just where he's in coverage, where he is breaking up plays, making plays. I think he is a gamer. And, you mentioned talking about Tim Banks and what they're able to do or not able to do because of personnel. How much of it is coaching, right? Everybody is on Willie Martinez saying none of his guys look back for the ball. Let me tell you something, and this was kind of a joke over at VolQuest. I saw a bunch of people on the GQ saying, we're going to have to coach up McCoy. He actually looks back for the football. We're going to have to fix that so he doesn't do that. If you see McCoy stop looking back for the football, then I think it's fair game to say that for some reason, Willie Martinez is coaching that. I don't think that's what's being coached. I think what's happening is they're getting burnt and then they're playing hands, right? It's like the guy's got to step on me, so I'm just playing hands because I can't turn and look for the ball because I've already been beat.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, if you see this kid get here and not turn his head around, be very, very, very concerned. I watched a lot of film on this kid. I was able to find this cool little mashup, so we didn't have to dig through a couple hours of a individual game to find footage. But 100% Boogie, this kid is a playmaker, and trust is the word that I'd like to say. He's a kid you can trust out there on the island. He's a kid you can trust putting man up on a player. He's a kid that you can trust to come up and defend the run. And on top of it, he's a playmaker. He's going to affect, he's going to get the ball. He's going to make a pick. He's got a couple picks. He had a pick on this film that I went over, but just a knack for the ball, always around it, always finding a way to hit the ball.
Trust is a good word because we're
Hmm.
all too familiar with it, and not to throw Joe Milton under the bus on a film breakdown for a corner. But you saw, how would you judge Josh Heupel? He comes in and we're saying, oh, he's a quarterback whisperer. Look what happened with Hendon Hooker, number one scoring offense in the country. Look like a different offense this year. Why? Lack of trust in the quarterback. I truly believe that. And I think
Hmm.
next year, everybody's going to be right back to singing Heupel's praises. They're not going to be talking about Golish and how much we miss him and how much it's his offense. It's Josh Heupel's offense. And you're going to see what happens when you have trust with a quarterback that can go out and make the play. So I'm excited to see, and I've been on this bandwagon all year long. I'm not ready to fire Tim Banks. I'm not ready to fire Willie Martinez, but I think they're all going to be held to a certain standard, for this next year, maybe 2 years, as their players start to come in. If you don't see Ricky Gibson develop, or Jordan Matthews, or Christian Conyer, or see McCoy come in and develop, then I think we've got problems. At that point, it's safe to move on and go a different direction. Let's take a look. We got a couple of more plays we're going to look at from McCoy, 146.
Yeah, this one we obviously pick up in the middle of the play, but it's kind of a carbon copy of the play that you saw before. You had deuces or twins. You can't really tell on the bottom of the screen, but at the very least you have those deuces to the top of the screen. The wide receiver seemingly running that same go route, that same nine route to the top of the screen. Gibson, I mean, sorry, not Gibson. You said Gibson, got me saying Gibson. Jerrod McCoy, kind of walling off. He knows he's got safety help to the inside. He knows he's got one up top, so he can turn his hips. And he wasn't playing press here, right? He was playing off the ball, which is why he's a little deeper. But he's honoring that. And the offense has great play call on here, right? They're going to run that nine route, but the quarterback's going to throw back shoulder to the pylon, right? They saw him off press, and he's going to get that back shoulder. But you go ahead and let it run maybe, I don't know, 2 seconds here, maybe till the wide receiver hits about the 5 yard line, and we'll just kind of watch as play opens. He's got a step on him. And as you notice right there, good pause point, Boogie. His hand is not, he's not PIing this guy, right? But he just wants to feel where he is, because you teach that down the field to DBs, because when you can feel where they are and just kind of keep that hand on them, the most important thing you can feel is when they change pace, right? Like when they pick up their steps and start putting them down a little quicker, when they start to slow up a little bit. And Gerard does a beautiful job of feeling this play starting to slow up, feeling this player starting to turn, and just watch how perfectly he defends this back shoulder throw. The hardest thing to defend for a cornerback is the back shoulder throw like this. Let's go ahead and take a look at him do it, Boogie. He's like a duck on water with this back shoulder. He get away with a little tug there, and I did see it on the shoulder pad. But you know what? I'll take a physical cornerback
Mm.
down there in the end zone anytime. Be a little nasty with it. Also, sneaky. He did it. Look at the pause it right on the pylon. Right. If you had it just a second earlier, you'll notice that ref. Look at where he's pulling right there.
Mm.
Look at whose body's in between the referee and that cornerback, right? The wide receivers. So that ref can't even see that little jersey pull, right? So it's a beautiful way to kind of stretch the rules, I think we'll call it, why the ref can't take a peek at it. But just really physical. A kid who'd rather get his hand on the ball, make a PBU rather than the other team celebrate in the end zone. Even if he gets 15 yards there, what do you want? Do we want a touchdown for the other team, or do we want a 15-yard penalty, reset, and try to kick a field goal? So great work there by Mr. McCoy. Right here, moving along, we got trips to the bottom of the screen. Gerard is going to be press at the top of the screen against that X wide receiver. We're going to get another kind of like 9 route to fade route here. Boogie, if you want to go ahead and maybe just play, a second or two as the wide receiver starts to cross him here. You see, he just crosses his face. And once again, guys, similar themes. You want to always see continued good form. He gets a hand on that wide receiver, right? He forces him out where he wants to go. For too long, they've just been allowed to cross our face and us just try to run with him. Boogie, give me a couple more seconds here as this play continues along about the 25. He's playing with them, running with them wide. Beautiful. Look at how wide, full strides these are. Now they can try to throw back shoulder here, but since he has pushed him so far outside, he's using that sideline as an extra defender, man. That's exactly what you want from this cornerback right here. He knows he's got help to the middle of the field. Look, you got 1, 2, 3 black jerseys in the middle of the field, and a ref kind of playing a little bit of defense on that on that center post route as well, which will take Boogie. Give me just another second or two. Let's continue to kind of slowly watch this. Now, right here, he doesn't get to quite pin and wheel, but he does look inside. So once again, he's turning around, and I'll tell you, it's in my notes right here, and we talked about it earlier. This is that play that you saw twice last year where Slaughter gets a ball caught against the backside of his helmet, right? Where it's like, man, that coverage was right there. That was good coverage to Nico Slaughter. And the kid just made a play. What can you do about it, right? What can you do about a play like that? This is what you can do about it. You can be physical in the pocket with this guy. You can get your head turned around inside. Yeah, you're already in a position where you can't pin and wheel around, but you could still play the inside and be physical and find a way to get the ball. Boogie, go ahead and let the rest of it play. We'll watch him do it real quick. Look at that hand right through the middle of his catch pattern. But more importantly, when he goes to poke through his hands, he doesn't just do the thing that they're taught to do, right? Oh, when you see the wide receiver's hands go up, put your hands up too. You don't have to look. No, 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 no. Look, get your hands up. Poke through the ceiling, because when you see that ball, you can adjust your hands. Now, all of a sudden, that wide receiver is just not allowed to catch through you. Beautiful job, man. Awesome. I'm pumped. Look at that. Beautiful. And you know what? When you get a tip like that with your safety helping, more times than not, you'll get a pick. And previously in this film, there was a pick that happened just that way because of Mr. McCoy. Go check out some of this guy's film, man. You want to watch a game? Can Coach Jay give you a game to go watch of Mr. McCoy? If you want to go watch the Oregon State Colorado game. He is an absolute menace out on that film in that game. Impressive kid. Hey, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think this guy can turn into a lockdown corner with us. And I kind of think the same of Ricky Gibson. And if you give Josh Heupel 2 lockdown corners with what I think this offense is going to do, danger, 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 guys. Going to be really, really tough stuff out of the University of Tennessee moving forward.
I'm excited to see what the secondary actually looks like in 2024 with all the guys going out, the new guys coming in. It's going to be interesting to see. We know Ricky Gibson, right? We saw how much he played down the stretch. He's a guy that we're all excited about, and I think McCoy is going to be on the opposite side of him. I think your 2 corners are locked down. The safety position is going to be interesting. What happens at the star position? Is Jordan Thomas at the star, a young freshman Boo Carter already on campus and making a lot of noise in that secondary? You think Boo ultimately ends up at star, or do you think he's going to play safety?
I think he ends up at star. I think Coach Rice has it right on the nose, and I think he ends up at star. Our defense is designed for the star to be the star of the defense. Yeah. And in case you haven't noticed, Boo's got star written all over him.
I'm excited to see what it looks like. That's the film breakdown for Jermod McCoy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We got to get back in the groove of this thing. We're going to be bringing you another one. Try to drop them on Sundays. May drop them around noon on Sundays. We'll see. Just be looking for them to come out. We got another one coming up next week. Tune in for that as well. It's going to be Jamal Wallace, JUCO transfer. Had the pleasure of having him on the show just recently. That was a good time. But do us a favor, as always, guys, on the way out the door, smash the thumbs up. Jump into the comments. Let us know your thoughts on McCoy. What do you think the secondary is going to look like in 2024? Do you think we have the opportunity to upgrade, a new youth movement? We want to hear from you guys in the comments as well. Make sure you're dialed in. All kinds of fun stuff coming your way. More film breakdowns, recruiting coverage. We'll do a live film breakdown coming up sometime probably in January. Get back to that. But that is going to wrap it up for this one. He's Coach Jay. My name's Boogie Bentley. This It's the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.